A good day to each and every one of you. How about now? Can you guys hear us? Let us know if you guys can hear us. Can you guys hear us? Let us know if you guys can hear us. Back up, back up, back up. Pace and power. Pace and power. Guys, can you hear us? Let us know if you can hear us. I see some folks saying yes. So I don't know. Yep, 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 yep. Yep. Good to have you folks here. Mm-hmm. What a day, what a day, what a day. What a day. What are you guys having for lunch? Welcome, welcome to our international podcast, Below the Belt, where we had some challenges there. Good to have each and every one of you here with us, guys. How are you folks doing? Good to have you guys. I'm sorry for that. Our apologies. And thank you for your patience. Midget Liverpool and Joy, Pamela and Singh. Our apologies there. Mark Williams and Rhonda Daniels Chance. Good to see you, Edward Gonzalez from the Bronx. Good to see you, Joe King and Mornis Toby, Fayan Lyon and Wendy Rowland. Good to see all you wonderful folks. I see Ann Singh is here with us and Carlotta Ronalds. I see Claire Capel. I see Teresa Finance is here with us, right in the studio, watching her. Getting set for the National Assembly. And we're wishing all our colleagues well. You all know I on suspension because I don't never think to the rule. That's our stay. We see people being ill-treated. We got to speak up, folks. I am suspension, but I'm there in spirit with my colleagues. I know the leader of the PNCR is going to be sworn in as a member of parliament, and also the former chairman of the PNCR, well, the Lawrence, is going to be sworn in as a member of parliament. And then, if all goes well, Mr. Norton should be taking the oath, also should be elected as the leader of the opposition today as well. And so, go with God, my comrades, my colleagues, go with God, folks. That's what's going to be happening in the National Assembly today, and we're going to be trying to cover some of it from our end. But good to see each and every one of you, folks. Good to see each and every one of you. And as I said, we're going to have Amanza Walton Desir is going to be joining us shortly as we talk about the wickedness of the PPP. The wickedness, folks, the wickedness, the wickedness. They've amended the Deaths and Births Act, and that has been having a lot of repercussions and has a lot of repercussions too, folks. And Amanza is going to be stopping by. Amanza is a practicing attorney at law, and so she's going to be talking to us about the significance about that and what we should be wary of and careful in not allowing to happen. So we're going to be talking to Amanza Walton is here shortly. Good to see you, Gladstone Matthews and Wendy Caesar, Monifa Garnett. Good to see you, Owen Bacchus, Carlotta Ronalds, Desiree Hollingsworth, Janice Booker, Marilyn Thomas, Owen Bacchus, and saying, good to see you, folks. Anna, good to see you as well. Yep. Good to see each and everyone. Robert Pops Archer. Good to see you, Roberto. Good to see you. And good to see you as well, Gladstone Matthews, who's always here with us. Whiskey session has arrived. Once you got the things, whiskey session gonna be there. We're good to have each and every one of you folks. We're going to try to pull Amanza in very, very early discussion because Amanza thereafter is heading to the National Assembly to join our colleague, Rita Finance. And, together we host the morning program FYI. And we're so happy that we have such strong women with us. And we wish them the very, very best. It seems as though this is the first sitting of Parliament in the administration, but believe it or not, the first sitting of the National Assembly. It's the first time they've been back in the House in a long time because people are like Parliament meeting and deciding stuff and so on. They like to do everything one sided. That's how things. That's how they be. Right? They want to control everything. But that being said, we're going to have some fresh boots on the ground in the National Assembly in the leader of the PNCR, People's National Congress Reform, Mr. Orbison Norton and Paula Ann Lawrence, and we wish them the best. I say welcome to these new members, quote unquote new members, because they've been there before. They've been there before, and they've played their own individual roles in the National Assembly. Done good work, folks. They've done good work, and we're going to continue to give you updates as we get them throughout the afternoon as regards their progress as regards with being sworn as members of the National Assembly, and also the election of Mr. Aubrey Norton in the National Assembly as the leader of the opposition, and that is done among opposition parliamentarians. Government don't decide on that. It is done. That election is done usually among opposition members of parliament. That being said, guys, that being said, I think Amanza might be ready. I hope she is, because we're ready to hear from Amanza. We know we don't want to detain her too long because she has to turn her attention to those national issues that are going to be taking part in the National Assembly. So we're going to have her on shortly, guys. Shortly. And apologies for that song issue as we commence the program today. Apologies there. Guys, apologies there. I owe y'all one. I owe y'all one. I owe y'all one. Amanza, as I said, is going to be with us shortly. And again, we're talking about the PPP wickedness. There's no other way to put it. The wicked, the wicked. Look what it did. The Amendment Births and Deaths Act. And we told this thing got problems. PPP, this thing gonna got problems. This thing gonna got problems. Right? Breaks up. Let me think this thing through. Let me think it through. No, 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 no. No, no, no. They don't have it, sir. They won't have it like that. They ram the thing through the National Assembly. No, it's a lot of problems. And you have a lot of repercussions that can come from this thing. Some of which are already being felt. Right? Some of which, folks, already being felt. So y'all try with that. And sing. Merlin King. Y'all try with that. Isabella Butters, good to see you. Good to see you, Isabella Butters, and all the other guys joining us. Love having you guys here. Carl Miller, folks, has joined us as well. Good to see you, lovely folks. Good to see you, lovely, sweet people. Good to have you guys here. What's the weather like where you are? And because you've asked us, we're going to tell you what's the weather like where we are as well. It's very sunny. I hope there's no rain in the afternoon. We want a bright afternoon. We want a bright and beautiful afternoon. It's 28 degrees outside, they're telling us, but it feels like 32. And there's a 3% chance, Jurita, it's going to rain, believe it or not. So you can leave the umbrella behind and such and so forth. And best wishes this afternoon. First day back after a little while. A hiatus of the National Assembly. They don't like meat plenty. People don't like meat plenty. They don't like to put the legislature to work for this country. No, 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 no. They're too busy doing nothing. It's 28 degrees outside in the national capital city of Georgetown, where we broadcast our international podcast from. And we're so happy that each and every one of you are here with us. There's a 3% chance it's going to rain where we are. And you are free to let us know what's the weather like where you guys are. Yep, yep, yep. And I love the comments. I love the comments. Jenny's Booker says PPP means to punish poor people. Yep, yep, yep. Perhaps you're right. Perhaps you're right. Utility Grant says it's overcast but very breezy. Utility, just remind us where you're joining us from. Overcast and very breezy. Maybe we gotta be there too. Loretta Argyle, good to see you, and Anna Gordon, good to see you. Andrew Cuthbert, good to see you. Marilyn King, good to see you guys as well. We love having you guys as an audience. Love having you guys as listening public. Andrew Cuthbert, Cuthbert. Good to see you, Andrew, and see you, Rebel. Good to see you, Sia. Hope you are going well. Yep, 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 yep. Right? Zia says as soon as she get this little salary, she can contribute. She can partner with us. Zia, thank you so much. We are so heartened by it. Guys, this thing don't run on water, believe it or not. Believe it or not. I know you might believe we, but don't run on water. And we're so happy for those of you who partner with us, help us to pay the bill, the internet bill, help us to pay rent for the studio, help us guys to keep the lights on, help us to ensure we have a small staff that does all the things at the back end, guys, that, when it's not being done, you're so appreciative of. But that being said, I will invite you guys to come on board and to partner with us to help keep this initiative moving forward. We're available on Cash App, on PayPal, on Zelle. We are available via MMG, via Western Union and MoneyGram. And we come to Stripe soon. Stripe. If you don't know what Stripe is, don't worry yourself. If you don't know what Stripe is, guys, do not worry yourself. Please and thank you. Good. Please and thank you. All right. I think we're about ready to have Amanza, or some people say Miss Amanza. We're about ready to have Amanza. And as we said, she's heading off to the National Assembly in a short bit. So we're so happy to she could grace us with her presence today. Amanza, how are you doing?
Mr. Duncan, how are you?
I am great, Amanza. I am great. Good to have you. I know you have a busy afternoon, but we're so happy that you can stop by and share some thoughts with us. And the audience have been waiting for you. Is that me?
Oh,
It's
I'm
you.
sorry.
It's you out here for.
I'm sorry.
So,
I'm
Mansa, please
sorry.
tell them that they
I'm
can go
here
ahead and
now.
share the live show and they can smash the emoji. Please and thank you.
Yes. Thank you for sharing the
And
live
they can
stream
listen to you.
and smashing that emoji button.
Yep,
You
yep,
know,
yep.
the more you share the live stream and the more you press that emoji button,
hmm
you get valid and credible information
Yep, yep. Because
to
if we gotta,
all and sundry.
all and sundry indeed. If we gotta depend on them buys the Caribbean information, you ain't getting far.
Yeah, well, we're cut out from the state news apparatus. So
It is what it is, though. But Amanza, let me mind some of your business before we go into our topic here.
what happened?
I've seen you've been a little busy bee. I see you've been on the
What have I
ground
been doing?
and you've been allow me to tell you, man. Allow me to remind you. You've been a little busy bee. I see you have been on a kite distribution, and making a lot of young people happy. I would have been looking forward to you had I been younger to see you come and share these kites, and so on. So tell us a little bit about that. You've been up and about, all the way where? Let me see what this place says. You've been under quarantine. Am I seeing that?
Yes.
Oh, you get it wrong, don't you?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So my mother was a teacher and very active in politics and so on, and she loved children, and so we've set up a foundation in her memory,
hmm
and we are in the process of distributing hundreds of kites around the country to children, just in terms of honoring her memory and the work that she did, because she was very passionate about making sure that children were able to enjoy these festivities. And so it's just a way of honoring her memory and continuing the philanthropic work that she would have done when she was alive. So it really is something
Wow.
that I learned to do.
Wow. Wow. What a great way of keeping her memory alive. And I can tell you were very close to your mother.
Yes, yes, I'm a
What
mommy's girl. What can I say?
what a very great way. And it shows in the way you care for your kids as well.
Well, yeah. Well, we thank God. He remains merciful, and
Oh yeah.
just to do whatever we can do. People are. It's hard out there, and whatever you can do to bring joy and cheer to people in whatever small measure. And the thing that we specifically deliberately did is that we used kite makers from various um, parts so that we were stimulating the local economy whilst preserving the kite making tradition, because you and I know as children growing up, making of kites at Easter time was a big thing, and so to have a handmade kite really, I think, brightened the children's day. So it was such an
Yeah.
experience. We were in quarantine and we were at Parika the day before, and we're going a few more places this week.
Excellent. And Amanda, you know what? That handmade kite is really I want to say dying art. It's really an art form in and of itself. I understand where we are with the other plastic kites as they call them, but that handmade kite, you know, knowing you have to really get the components right to get it to lift, to get it to fly.
Absolutely.
It's such an art.
Because if the loop is not aligned a certain way, it will dip in a
Mm-hmm.
certain
If
direction. I
if
mean,
if the tail
we
is
we
too
had to go
heavy
through.
or too short.
We had to go through. Yeah, yeah. It is really an art form that should be preserved, and so this is why we were happy to engage the local kite makers,
hmm
provide employment,
hmm
whilst
And
spreading cheers.
and
So a win-win situation for everybody.
it's so interesting how much times have changed, but how things have stayed the same, albeit that back in the day we used to make our own kites. You had to go and pick you what you used to call glamour cherry. I don't know if that's what they call it.
Yeah.
No, the little
In the countryside, we call it
sticky fruit.
pacey.
Pacey.
Uh-huh.
And you put your own
Pacey.
kite together, but those were the good days. And I'm happy that the children can still benefit by and large from that authentic, quote unquote, kite experience, which is what we know as the local kites, that authentic experience.
Yeah.
But let me tell you this, Amanza, where I live, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, there was this is like a custom. There's this one guy who has a kite up 24 hours a day flying. So in the middle of the night, you're hearing something singing outside. It sounds like a cat is crying, but it's the cat.
So so
It's the kite.
so I was saying this to somebody yesterday, somebody from the US. I said, so what we did as children is that our kites never came down.
Hmm.
Where I grew up on the green, at the back of the house was just land as far as the eye could see.
Hmm.
So you would tie the kite on the back landing and it
Hmm.
would be there for days.
Hmm. Hmm.
For days,
Yep,
you
yep,
know.
yep, yep,
So
yep.
good
What an art.
times.
Yeah, yeah. But Amanza, let's turn our attention now to them boys. They come back. Them boys don't fly
Alas,
kites,
we
you know.
must.
They never kite fly. They're not small days. That's why some of the things they're doing, it's mind-boggling. And one of those things is this amendment they've made to the Births in Death Act. And just yesterday, in a press conference out at the People's National Congress Reform, you raised this as an issue. Tell us about the act, perhaps what it's aimed to do, and then we'll talk about the mischief that is afoot.
Well, the Registration of Births and Deaths Act, if you recall, it was passed uh, earlier in the year, and it was said to us that it was intended to simplify the obtaining of a birth certificate. Now, the average Guyanese would tell you that quite contrary,
Mm-hmm.
some people have been waiting for 7 months for a birth certificate.
Mm-hmm.
So immediately we know that there's no truth to the claim that it is intended to make obtaining a birth certificate easier. There are children who were born, I know, 8 months and do not have a birth certificate.
Wow.
So there clearly is something wrong. Now, we have been receiving reports that in the hinterland regions, the government is registering Venezuelan migrants
Mm-hmm.
and providing them with Guyana birth certificates.
Uh-huh.
We understand that this is intended to effect electoral manipulation. That is, they will pad the voters list with these people,
Mm-hmm.
with these
Yeah.
names.
Yep. Yep. That's
It's fraught
wickedness.
with danger.
Yep. Yep. Because we've already had some concerns during the last general regional elections where you had votes turning up, and in instances where you should have had a birth certificate recorded or an ID card recorded, you had none of that. So without
Right.
even having those necessary things, being part of the process, we had some challenges. Now you're going to open the system even more. We could see the kind of skullduggery this opens up the whole thing to.
Right. But not only does it open it up to skullduggery, it jeopardizes the welfare of legitimate and legal Guyanese citizens. Now, I want to be clear that this is apart from our legal obligation
Hmm.
to assist in migrant and refugee situations.
Hmm.
The conference of nationality is a completely different story. So I don't want people to confuse the fact that all these people are migrating because of economic reasons and so on. That happens every day. There are Guyanese who have migrated to the US for economic reasons and so on. But there is a path to citizenship, and it does not look anything like what the PPP is currently effecting in those far-flung regions. They are using officials aligned to them to sign declarations to give people birth certificates.
Wow.
Now, Sherrod, this, as I pointed out yesterday, not only jeopardizes Guyanese because of the issue of the allocation of resources, It jeopardizes our national security. And I pray to God that Guyanese, irrespective of whichever side of the political fence you're on,
Mm-hmm.
could stop for 1 minute and think about how inimical this thing is to your interest as a Guyanese.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you were born. You are seeing the introduction
Mm-hmm.
into the population of people in numbers that will affect your resource allocation.
Mm-hmm.
And Sherry, this is not, we're not engaging in flights of fancy here.
Mm-hmm.
The Essequibo region is unpopulated in comparison to the coast.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you have a nation on your western flank that has been saying that Essequibo belongs to us. They have taught their children from the age that they can read that Essequibo belongs to Venezuela.
Yeah.
What prevents a plot of inserting hundreds, if not thousands, of Venezuelans in the Essequibo region? And then when the time comes, use them as a pretext for
Yeah.
incursion into Guyana.
Well, there that is a real possibility. A real possibility, because it's not what the PPP is doing themselves by inserting, for instance, the head of the GRO, the General Registrar himself, Raymond Cummins, Mr. Wanlager's brother, right? They didn't appoint him there
Well,
by chance. He's not a man who's been working in the system there, but he was appointed for a specific purpose.
they are manipulating the system
Ah.
for
Mm-hmm.
their immediate
Mm-hmm.
political
Yeah.
gain, but jeopardizing Guyana's long term future.
Mm-hmm.
We are 750,000 of us here. A nation of over 20 million can send 500,000 people to live here without it even being noticed.
Correct.
And when you say these things, people think that you're being, you know, dramatic. But
Mm-hmm.
this is the pretext under which you'll recall Russia's Vladimir Putin. That is the pretext under which he had military activity in the Donbass.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because the people who are in two regions and they decided that they wanted to be aligned to Russia and to be annexed from
Mm-hmm.
Ukraine. What prevents that from happening in the Essequibo?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Right.
these are stark realities
Very
that
much
we as
so.
Guyanese have to apply our minds to and understand that the PPP masters the game of the immediate. They come, they give handouts, they pacify by giving crumbs, and they're making decisions that will jeopardize our safety in the long run.
Mm-hmm. 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 But again, this short-sightedness, because I remember in the debate in the National Assembly on this issue, we said, Senate, let the experts, the select committee, and so on have another look at it. Let us think. Let us rationalize this thing before we move it into the stage of being an act. The
We
amendments, we
did.
approve the amendments, and so on. Not listening.
We did. We even pointed out the requirements in other jurisdictions. Trinidad, for example, they ask you to produce things like a letter from the school you attended, um, the names of your siblings, etc. Some documentation that will be available readily, your immunization card or record. Our law requires none of that.
Mm-hmm. You just rock and come
So
in.
you could go to, yes, I could go to Sherrod and pay him a fee and say, look, I need you to declare that I am here, I born here, and I'm a citizen of Guyana. No,
Mm-hmm.
interestingly, it was Anil Nanlal who accused the justices of the peace and the notaries public, some of them, of being corrupt when he was passing or piloting the amendment to the powers of attorney bills through the National Assembly. So this is not my accusation of corruption. He said that they were corrupt. But you are now entrusting this very important function to these same corrupt people, the people that you call corrupt.
Yep. Yep. Interesting times we're living in, Amanza. Interesting times. Your thoughts? I know you have to run off and head over to the National Assembly. To Guyanese, you see all this happening. You see all these maneuvers and short-sightedness and shortcomings of the PPP. Your thoughts to Guyanese?
That we had better wake up and understand that this is not about the PNC or the PPP. This is about the future of Guyana and our children. We are today encouraging a government to make very poor political decisions that our children will have to live with.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to come out of this spell that has been cast on us where we see everything through the lens of party and not of country. This is about country.
Correct is
To
right.
compound it, you have a government that has manifestly shown that it doesn't care about people. How often are Guyanese going to fall to their lies? We are seeing every day that all of the promises that they have made are falling through. And then you have some people who refuse to have their mouth act with the benefit of their intellect, that open their mouth to say, oh, you all were there for 5 years. What did you do?
Mm-hmm.
Forgetting that the previous administration was there for 23 years. How is it that you can undo the damage that was done in 23 years and start to rebuild in 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Just think about it.
Yep. But you're absolutely right, Amanza. We better wake up. We're so glad that you can share this time with us. Give our regards to our colleagues in the National Assembly. Pace and
Well, we
power.
gonna miss you suspended, Mr. Duncan.
Gotta do what we gotta do, my sister. I'll see you in short
The
order.
parliament is never the same without you. But again, I
Mm-hmm.
commend you for your stand. And we can gladly take the punishment if it means standing up and speaking up for what is right.
We out here, Manza.
All right, bless you, my
Boots
brother.
on the
Take
ground in the
care.
National Assembly. Have a great afternoon.
All right, good. Bye bye.
Folks, the one and only Manzo Walton Desire. How are you folks with your nastiness, the wickedness, this skullduggery they want to do with these kinds of amendments, especially when we're talking about the amendments to births and deaths. And we get information all the time that says nothing on regular. We see the foolishness happening there at the GRO's office where it concerns the registration of birth and deaths and people trying to get an ID card. Right? They want to say you could just go and swear to a JP or somebody like that. Right? And say, oh, I is Alan Stevenson and I could get an ID card. As easy as that. Right. They're not thinking anything through. And that's why we're running into all the troubles we're running into: social, health, troubles in education, troubles in the economy. It's the same kind of thinking. Jackie Beard and Amanza Magnell Barrow wants you to bring some kites to Baggleville. She said, don't forget to be Baggleville and Canal number 1. Magnell wants some kites on the side. Sheila, boy, child. Good to see each and every one of you. This is the kind of things we're talking about. And them guys don't understanding or they're playing foolish. They're playing foolish. This is the kind of thing we've been warning against. And now we've seen the repercussion. And then them boys want to go and say, oh, y'all trust me. We got this. We got what? Y'all know one thing y'all doing. Ain't no one thing y'all doing. One thing y'all doing. Huh? But we got to keep at it, folks. We got to keep at it. There are a number of issues, guys. We're following a number of issues, including this one. And that's why we drew it to your attention, because we think you ought to know what's happening in this great country of ours. Guyana got such potential, folks. And that potential has to be realized. Potential must become performance. But you see these folks, not good for this country. Just to figure out where we are, you just gotta ask yourself: you better off than you were a year, a fight 2 years ago. You better off financially. Are you better off? Huh? All the issues that confront you, you better off. That's a good question to ask yourself. Right? I know some people be too ashamed to answer on social media, too ashamed to put a comment. But it is what it is. The truth hurts. For those people who vex, the truth hurts. Dara David, good to see you there. And Marcia Aaron, good to see you. Shirley Crichton, good to see you. Shirley says you got to give the VP a kite. You never fly one. It's true. Some people not play this, and it shows. Some of them are not small days, and it shows. It shows. It shows. It shows. Yep. Guys, we several issues at our end we think you ought to know about. And one of them we were looking at just this morning on the FYI for information, our morning program, which talks about this pandemic of abuse, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's uh, gender-based violence, you name it, and it's a pandemic, folks. That's what we said this morning on our program, the pandemic of abuse. And we're following all these instances where, and sometimes, we've gotten too accustomed to it. For instance, this foulest mother of three, killed by her husband who is on the run. Killed by her husband who is now on the run. 57-year-old. 57-year-old. Murdered yesterday, sending shockwaves through that community. Savitri Raj, her husband being Vijay Raj, and they said he gained entry to her house through some window and stabbed her several times. They were supposed to have a court matter just today that concerns his treatment of her and all of that. Just today they were supposed to have a court matter, and now Savitri Raj is no more. And there's a whole slew of issues like that. We were also looking at the other issue where the the child who was stabbed. One report says it's a 4-year-old child, another says a 5-year. We know it's a child, a 5-year-old child, who was stabbed, and this is by the mother's lover. Right? Quite interesting, folks. This kind of abuse. And then just yesterday as well, if not the day prior, we were dealing with the businessman whose daughter was granted a lifetime permanent injunction against him. And that video, really and truly gained traction on social media with um, to the extent where it was, uh, it- people saw that he was kicking her. He had a belt in his hand, sharing licks, 25 years old, and abusing his daughter. Well, she managed to obtain a permanent injunction against him. You cannot a restraining order, permanent restraining order. Yep, that's what's happening on that front. So there is a real a real cycle in this country, an epidemic of abuse in this country, and our women folk has been the brunt of it, even at the level of the National Assembly. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Even at the level of the National Assembly, women have been the brunt of this kind of foolishness in the National Assembly. Even at that level, folks. And so this is one of the issues that we are most definitely, guys, looking at. And another issue that we are definitely keeping our eyes on is the economics. We touched on this earlier, right? And looking at some of the news making the headlines, it says here in one of the dailies that economist flags reckless spending on infrastructural projects. And this is economist Elson Lowe. You just see these guys going to regions and just You had a budget read in February, and some of the things, if not most of them, you hear being mounted. Oh, we promised you all this, we promised you all that. In the budget, it's not in the budget. And the oil money, the last that we got, all of that have been absorbed into the last budget. But you've been getting, as Elson Lowe says, reckless spending. Oh, I can give you an airport. Oh, I can give you all a stadium. Oh, I'll give you all X. I'll give you all Y. Reckless spending. Jobs, jobs, jobs. Well, they're trying to fight that. They promised 50,000 jobs. I don't think they delivered 50 yet. And if it's 50 to the boys. Reckless spending. That's what the economist says. On infrastructural projects. Reckless spending by the women fancy. And it's a question that was asked quite recently by, I think, Kaito News in an editorial. Who conceptualizes these issues? Who says an airport is needed in Rose Hall? What study determines that a stadium is needed at Palmyra? Right? What studies, what research, whatever you call it, informs that kind of decision-making process? Absolutely nothing. Women fancy. Whim and fancy, people. That's what them boys on. Whim and fancy. That's what they're on. So we're checking that. And again, if you go through some of the letter columns today, you see a lot of people talking about these abuses. Physical abuse. Why police aren't paying more attention to that? When you skim through some of the letters to the editor making today's papers, and this economist is on point, when he says there's been reckless spending by the PPP, reckless spending. So, guys, that's what's happening on that front, and I think we need to raise two other issues with you folks. And that is, as it concerns, again, some of this stuff you're hearing about the abuses that are being meted out to our women folk. The writers, as I said, have taken to the papers. Right. Some that Mojave wrote just this morning. What's happening? Right. She says there's a poor woman in number 51 village. Right. A poor widow, of number 54 village, but the police station in number 51 village has not been responding to her concern. She has a son, according to the letter writer. Sumdat is the letter writer. Sumdat Mohari says her son, according to the woman, has been abusing her. But in number 51 police ain't looking into it. They're not looking into it. Yeah, they say they get their family story. That's usually the thing. They get their family story. Right. Well, unless somebody die, like Savitri Raj, then people don't understand the seriousness of the situation these women are in. And we got to watch that. So we hope the police force does more. We hope the police force does more. And one of the issues we covered last evening that still has currency is that the police has issued a wanted bulletin for the murder over the murder of Leroy Talgett. Police issue wanted bulletin over murder of Leroy Talgett. And this was a youngster who was working at the Ghana Energy Agency when he disappeared. Family members said. Yep. So we're waiting to see what comes out of this, but the report tells us that the police just yesterday issued a wanted bulletin for Rayvan Shervin Francis in relation to the murder of Leroy Talgett in December of 2023. Leroy has been gone for a long time, just disappeared. Now it's been ruled a murder. Just fell off the face of the earth, guys. And I'm certain we've said it here before. Leroy's family wants closure to this. Right? He's been gone for a long time. Been gone for 9 years, missing. And the indication is that Leroy has been murdered. And so we saw the police yesterday issued a bulletin. for the arrest of Raven Shervin Francis. Justice too long delayed. Martin Luther King tells us it's justice denied. Justice too long delayed is justice denied. Right? He's been, yes, I may have made an apology. My apologies there. He's been missing since December 2013. If that was the omission, my apologies. He's been Levi Talgett. He's been missing since 2013. And again, police are asking if anybody is aware of Mr. Raven Shervin Van Veen. Ra- Raven Shervin Francis. Raven Shervin Francis. They're to contact the nearest police station. Right? Levi Talgett has been missing since December 2013, guys. And again, his family certainly wants closure. Certainly wants closure to this matter. And folks, finally, as we have your attention, we've also been looking at some of these contracts that were given out. I saw a particular caricature, a cartoon being circulated on social media, WhatsApp in particular, where I saw it. WhatsApp in particular. They says only some people getting contracts by the with the tender procurement body. It's only some people getting contracts. And I see a big contract was issued yesterday. Geico. Yep. Geico Construction and General Services Inc. They were allotted $569.3 million for the dredging of the Pomeroon, the mouth of the Pomeroon River. 569. Yep, that's a lot of money. $569.3 million for the dredging of the mouth of the Pomeroon River. Next time. That's what nice time looks like, folks. But again, that's not the concern. We don't know the people. We don't know the people. What is of concern is that lots of folks we talk to, and we see it on social media all the time, people are saying that the national attendant procurement process, national attendant board, and such and so forth, seem to only favor one set of people. And I think that them boys might want to look back at that. Them boys might want to look back on that. Right? Of course, only if we is one Guyana, really and truly. If we are one Guyana, you can look back on that. Right? But if it's only talk for talk's sake, you won't care. If it's talk for talk's sake, you wouldn't care. You wouldn't care. Yep, but that's what's happening on that front, folks. As we said to you earlier, today's a sitting of the National Assembly. It's the 12th Parliament. I'm gonna say it's the 12th sitting. It's the 12th Parliament, and we are going to be trying to give you guys updates as it progresses. Anything we think you need to know, but we're expecting that Aubrey Compton Norton and Volda and Lawrence, they're going to both take the oath as members of Parliament, new members of Parliament in this dispensation of the 12th Parliament, and that Aubrey Norton is going to be shortly thereafter, sometime during the course of the afternoon, he's going to be elected among the members of the parliamentary opposition as the opposition leader. Those are two events we intend to keep you posted on throughout the afternoon. And then there is this bill that is coming up too in National Assembly, and we spoke a little bit about that on our earlier program. Not a bill. This motion to remove the requirement that the Public Affairs Committee, Public Accounts Committee only need 3 members for any sitting, and the Jacobats coming with a wicked mechanisms. They want to be able to say that yes, they want the committee only to be constituted if 2 members of government and 2 members of the opposition are present to constitute the meeting. 2 members of government, 2 members of the opposition. That's what they're looking for. Right? And of course, they want to be able to absent themselves so you can scrutinize their spending. Because if you absent yourself, this committee won't be constituted. You see, right now as it stands, we have enough members of the opposition to constitute a meeting. The opposition chairs the meeting. but they're trying to turn that on their head. That's the wickedness of the folks. That's the wickedness of the folks, Janice Booker. They can come and preach accountability, but they don't like accountability. They can come and preach good governance to share up, but they don't like good governance. They can come and preach a rule of law, but they don't like rule of law. And those are a couple of things, guys, we think you ought to know about today. And again, we're going to be watching the National Assembly. And as we get information from the inside, we're going to let you guys know what is happening, such and so forth. Right? We're going to let you know all of that good stuff as it happens right here at our end throughout the afternoon. We're going to keep our eyes attuned to the National Assembly and bring you that news and information as it happens. Good to see so many of you on the live today. Good to see Janice Booker and Andrew Cuthbert, all the usual suspects. Paula Hughes is here as well, and a Whiskey Session, Andrew Cuthbert, all those here. Show after show. We're so happy, guys. We're so heartened by that. And we couldn't do these programs without you. Your presence means so much to us. One, some of you guys also partner with us that we can do this work. That's our main source of funding, guys. That keeps our small team in place to get this, put all this together behind the scenes, and then to engage the other services that we need to put it all together for you. We are so thankful, and we encourage you guys to come on board and to partner with us. You know, we got Cash App available and Zelle and PayPal, all for your convenience. All for your convenience. And MMG, and we're available via MoneyGram and via Western Union as well. All for your convenience, guys. We're so happy. So happy. And we encourage you guys to come on board and partner with us. You know, these are very trying times. These are very trying times. And we don't like owing people. We like to meet our obligations. That's the kind of standard people that we want to be. We like to meet our obligations. We ask for certain services, and they provide certain services for us locally, and we like to meet our responsibilities. And so those of you who are so inclined, and we hope that more and more of you would do so, because, you know, folks, I'm telling you, don't run away with the idea that there's a whole set of millions and millions of dollars you know, poured in here, you know. Right? We hanging here by a shoestring, a shoestring. Right? But we're so grateful, guys. It's our passion to do this work for you. Right? It's a passion. Everything that we receive goes towards offsetting the expenses for the services we acquire to put this all together for you guys. I ain't going to throw no big party. I ain't buying no big fancy vehicle and, you know, building a big house off of it. This is a labor of love for you, our Guyanese brothers and sisters at home and around the world. It's a labor of love, nothing short of that. And we're so privileged that each and every one of you are here with us. Consider partnering with us, guys. You can always drop us a note on our WhatsApp number, which is also our MMG number. WhatsApp us, folks. It's 21st century. WhatsApp we. You don't send emails as often. WhatsApp us 627-6963. That's our WhatsApp number, 627-6963. We're so privileged that you guys have been here with us. Apologies again for the audio as we started. We just started blabbling and didn't necessarily cross all our I's and dot all our T's. And for that, we're so sorry. So apologies there for the audio as we started. But good to see all of you, Isabel Butters. And, you know, I'm so happy for those of you who put your money where your ears there. Put your money where your eye there. And we're so happy, first and foremost, that so many of you tune into our programs, whether it's the FII, the morning program, it's Below the Belt here, it's In the Ring later on in the evening, or it's our website, Credible Sources. We're so happy that you guys help to keep all that moving forward, because that's the kind of folks you are. You know, this struggle costs something, guys. It costs something to be out here in the struggle. And we're so thankful for people like you, for viewers like you, for listeners like you, Loretta Argyle and Allison and Jackie Bear. So happy for people like Bernard Innes and all you other great, fantastic folks. Have a splendid rest of the afternoon. Pace and power. We're going to keep you guys posted. Anything we think you need to know coming out of the National Assembly. That being said, guys, stay safe. Have an awesome, productive afternoon. We're going to see you guys back here. That being said, face to face this evening in the ring, folks, in the ring. Thanks for joining our international podcast. Who Vex Lose? Who Vex Vex? Take care now and stay safe.